suavemente.
Oh.
Bésame, lo que nos tus labios, esa You know, listen, you may not know the name, but when you heard the song, you know.
They blast it at Chipotle whenever I worked there. So yeah, I know what it is. Hi, welcome to Tasi's Immigrant podcast. My name is Tasnia Akhtar. I am the host, and this is my guest for today, my best friend, Danny.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so we are yappers. So we're just gonna get right into the questions. So for today's episode 2 of the podcast, let's begin with Danny. Please tell me, what is your name?
Okay, so my name is Daniel. My last name is Honeycutt. Not a traditional name, that's more German. But my parents call me Daniel because I am Hispanic as well.
Great. So are you the child of an immigrant family? And if so, where are your parents or grandparents from?
So I am a child of an immigrant. Both my parents come from San Juan, Puerto Rico. They originated in 1986. They come both to New York City. And yeah, they've been living here ever since.
Where in New York City?
Oh, Bronx, New York.
The Bronx. Yeah.
Bronx.
All right, so my third question for you is, tell me about yourself. Like, what are you up to these days? What do you do for fun?
Thank you for asking. So currently I am a student. I am going for my bachelor's, studying for education. I want to be a teacher. That is my goal. I am currently also working part-time at Amazon, and I also do youth classes every Thursday with my church, with the young kids there, and basically involve them in like a little Bible class that is mostly about reading the word more often.
Great. So my next question for you is, have you ever been to your parents' homeland?
Yes. So I've been to Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico, every summer. I used to go since 2004, and the last time I went was 2016. That was the last time I seen them. It was a nice, wonderful time with my family, seeing them. I have good pictures of my titi, my cousin, Christian, and my mother in the far left, or far right. I don't know if the camera can see it. But yeah, I also have trips of like us together. This is a picture of me.
The mirror selfie.
The mirror selfie was at a hotel we went to. And there was also the beach that we went to, La Visas. It's a farther part in the city, but it is very beautiful. A lot of Puerto Rico is a lot of beaches there, but there's also a lot of community there. A lot of fantastic people that you meet, and a lot of good tropical spots. I love going every summer just to meet family and just to chill. We always get treated very nicely over there, and we always have the best memories.
Do you want to mention the hotel?
Yes. So much of the hotel experience depends. I don't remember the exact name of it, but I remember waking up really early to go into this hotel that we go to every summer. It usually has like shores that you go to with a lot of seafood restaurants. I like to eat. I remember one specific instance where I had seafood for the first time and I was scared to eat a fish because, you know, I had to look it in the eye and it was kind of strange for me. But my abuelita...
And it has an eye.
Yeah, it has an eye.
Like a chicken, where you're not looking at a chicken eye.
Yeah, and mi abuelita would say, you know, it's a bien comer, you know, eat it, it's fine. You know, and I'd be like, but he's alive. He's like, ese no problema, ese comida now. So I remember that, and then a lot of it was like the arcades that we used to go to and play, like the Simpsons arcade, the Batman 1989 car arcade that we go to, and I would also spend a lot of time with my other cousin. Me and my brother and him were like a trio. We spent a lot of time together, and it was fun. It was definitely enjoyable.
You told me earlier that, before the interview, that you went to a hotel and like they let you play go-karts, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me
So
about
part of
that.
Las Villas was also they provided go-karts as like a transportation. The only thing I think they required was that you had a license or that you were of age, but otherwise you pretty much got to ride it, and it was a family thing. So I have pictures of that. I remember riding with my titi Edna, and mi primo Christian was riding the cart because he was of age. He is like 1 year older than me. So he was definitely of age to drive. And I also have my cousin Monica. That was in 2016, which was a good time. I definitely remember really loving the ride because I I like go karts. I like the bit we can just drive around in a nice open space, see people around, see some animals, maybe drive up to some, marketplaces and just like, get some food and whatnot. It was nice. It wasn't like compact. And over there it's very hot, so any transportation available to not have to step on the floor when it's like mucho caliente, I'm like, okay, bet. I got my sandals on. I don't gotta worry about touching the ground, burning my feet. That's fine.
Yeah, I've never been on a go-kart before.
It is wonderful.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Okay, so my next question for you, which you kind of answered, is what was your experience in Puerto Rico?
It was wonderful. It's always good every year to go because I always see my family. They don't usually travel here as often anymore. They used to come when I was younger. My grandma used to come when I was first born. But because she doesn't really like traveling in flights, she would prefer that we go see her over there. And all my family, majority of my family, is in Puerto Rico. They all live around the same block area, and we would just chill at my grandma's. We would like sleep over. I would also go to my aunt's house with my cousin. They had a pool area, which was really nice because they had a good apartment area, which came with a pool. So that was cool. And it's just nice to catch up with family. I remember the last time I went, I saw my Tio Meatball, which is just a code name. His name's Tio Tito, but we call him Tio Meatball because he calls us spaghetti. It's a joke thing, but he really likes calling us spaghetti. It was a cute thing when we were kids, but I still did it the last time I went, and we had a really good conversation before my trip ended about how much they really do care about my education, where I come from, and that even if there'll be times when we don't always spend time together, that they still love me and they want the best for me. I remember really not really resonating with that because a lot of us, we don't see each other as often, only in the summertime. So to hear my tio and my aunt really like share that moment with us, like I felt more encouraged to like want to still keep in touch and just like honor the memory that they have.
Do you keep in touch?
Yeah, sometimes my mom will call. They mostly will call my mom, and then I would talk to them on the phone. That was how usually it works because my grandma calls every day asking, what are you doing, are you free to talk, that's mostly it. And my mom's sister too definitely calls every day, just be like, oh, you want to catch up? And I will answer sometimes, be like, hey titi, I'm okay, yo soy bien, yo estoy trabajando, see, I'm keeping busy, all that stuff.
I don't know if this happens to you, but in my family, when one family member is calling, suddenly you have to talk to like all 50 family members.
Oh yeah, we definitely have three-way
It's
calls
like, hi
sometimes.
Nani, hi Nana, hi Kalamoni, hi other Kalamoni, hi. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, definitely when we do three-way calls, or like if my mom is calling more than one person, I usually try to enter in, or she'll try to incept me in. Like I'll be doing something, and if she's on a call, she'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta bring Danny into this. So they bring me in, I'm on my phone. Oh, mira Danny, ese tu abuelito, or tu tito. And I would say hi. I would be like, oh, hi, how you doing? And it would be surprising, but also be nice because I know they ask a lot about me and how I'm doing. So like it feels good to like hear from family,
Yeah, it's all love.
Yeah, it's all love out there,
Yeah.
I mean, we get lit, trust me. We definitely have a lot of fun time as a family. I remember some good instances that I won't share for the camera, but there have been some good times that we had.
Okay, so my next question for you is, why did your parents immigrate here?
That's a good question. So my mom originally, when I believe she was 18, she had her first child, my sister, who's no longer with us. She had her when she was like 18. She had another marriage, another husband, and that caused a lot of friction between her and my grandma. And with her situation specifically, she felt like she couldn't stay there anymore with her child. So she
In Puerto Rico?
in Puerto Rico,
okay.
yeah. So basically, she was asked by a cousin of hers to go live with them, and that was around the same time I think she also met my dad. So her and my dad went together to New York City, at least, or at some point. I remember they tried to coordinate when they were like seeing each other, but it just didn't work. I know because my dad would share me the stories, and he'd be like, it just didn't work. But my mom lived with her cousins with her firstborn child. It was a daughter, Minerva. She was a sweet girl, and she had disability. She was born with intellectual disability, meaning she couldn't talk.
Your older sister.
Yeah, my older sister Minerva. Yeah.
Yeah.
She passed when I was in like 11 in 2010. But she was intellectually disabled. She couldn't talk. She couldn't speak. She couldn't move herself. She had to be fed through a tube every day. It was very hard, and my mom had to do a lot of that by herself. So thank you, appreciate that. But yeah, my dad came later on. I think probably in the 90s. I know he was coming for work, because he was just moving out his mom's house, and that was important for him to like stand apart. Like, oh, I'm gonna live in New York. I think he was going with a friend at the time. He's like, yo, I'm going to New York. You wanna come? He's like, okay, bet. So let's do it. So that's partially the reason that they moved for different reasons, but they ended up still keeping in contact until eventually they got together. Yeah. So that's kind of like the story.
So they met in Puerto Rico.
So they knew each other in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
because they both were living there around the same time. But I guess like they officially, when they met again in New York, they like, they were still talking.
So they found each other again in New York.
Yeah, we're keeping in touch. So they're just like, oh,
So,
let's make that work.
So it wasn't like, let's go to New York together.
No.
It was like, oh, I'm in New York, you're in New York.
Yeah. It was something like that. But anyways.
Okay. So my next question for you is, what is something you love about your culture?
I love the music. So anybody who's a Puerto Rican audience, and I'm letting you know this, we love music. We love to dance. Like if you,
I love the rice.
I did the rice.
I love Puerto Rican rice.
Yeah, arroz con gandules. Listen, if y'all ever hang out with Puerto Rican people, you'll definitely know by the music we listen to, by the comida, by the food, and the music we listen to. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many days I wake up. My mom is playing bachata first thing in the morning.
Wait, did you say the comida and the food?
No, the comida and the music.
Oh, okay.
No. I was like, did I say that twice? Listen, my Spanglish is terrible.
No, maybe I heard it wrong.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe I did say it, but who knows? We can clip that. But basically, the music was always a thing I loved about my culture. I loved certain artists when I grew up. Prince Royce, Mark Anthony.
What was that Prince Royce song you just sent me?
Oh, it was I know exactly what you're talking about. It was a translation of a popular song of his. It was called
Love in Your Face, or Heart in Your Face, or something.
Yeah, like it was Heart Without Eyes. Oh no, yeah, Heart Without a Face.
Heart with a face?
Or Heart Without a Face.
Heart Without a Face.
Yeah, that's the English title, but people would know if they look up the Spanish title. But it's like where he says like, no matter if you're fat or thin, I still love you. Like people know that. Like, listen, if y'all, I'm telling you, that's a song. If you want to know, if you put Boricua enough, you play that song, people know exactly what that song is.
It healed me. He sent me that song the other day.
With the translation in English, okay? She knows some Spanish, but listen, we working with it. We working with it.
You didn't know me, though, when I was really good at Spanish.
No, and I wish I did, because then introducing my parents to her would have been so easy.
Yeah. Yeah. But too bad I have memory loss.
It's okay. You'll learn.
Everything.
Listen, we definitely gonna learn together Spanish.
Yeah, you're learning Bangla little by little.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like one word.
Like one word, one word per year. Yeah, that's how it usually goes when you're so comfortable in a culture like this. You definitely gotta learn one word a year.
All right, so you said Prince Royce. You mentioned some other artists.
Mark Anthony, Jennifer
Mhm.
Lopez,
Oh yeah.
Aventura.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely also like some Elvis Crespo. You know that?
No.
Suavemente,
Oh.
bésame, que no se quites labios, esa tesa. You know, listen, you may not know the name, but when you heard the song, you know.
They blasted at Chipotle whenever I worked there. So yeah, I know what it is. Okay, so what is something you wish would be different about your culture?
That's kind of interesting to say because I don't really have anything that I would want to switch up on my culture. I love my culture. I love
Respect.
being every. I love the family dynamics we all have. I love the food. I love the music. I love how a community is born. Like I mentioned music. I wrote a paper about the about the Bronx, and I wrote about specifically the artists that originated from Puerto Rico and that came to New York with the music career. So like the people I mentioned, like Mark Anthony, Jennifer Lopez, Prince Royce, they
Which
come.
is a big deal.
Yeah, they're a big deal. That
Yeah.
these people they come from Puerto Rico wanting to, you know, make it big here, and that's part of the reason why we have such a big like Hispanic community here, especially if you remember in the South Bronx. My dad would talk about it like in the 70s or 80s. Like the South Bronx was had full of Puerto Ricans. Oh, I gotta shout out my boy Tito Puente. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all gonna get mad that I don't mention it, but the people who grew up with Tito Puente, he's really great too.
Who
Tito,
is this person?
Tito Puente is a drummer. You know how they play like the people that have like the drum sets, kind of like they use it mostly for like rumba and stuff. But he was popular at that. He was good with drums, and he was also good with like, I would say look up a video with Tito Puente. But he was a popular Puerto Rican artist. He did a lot. He did a lot of. He did a bunch of collabs with Celia Cruz, who's also a famous Puerto Rican artist, who I love too. I remember my first song in Spanish was Rie y Llora, which means laugh and cry. It was one of my favorite songs by her. That was I didn't know Spanish by then, but I heard that song, it got me moving. I didn't even need to know the words. I heard that song, I was dancing. That was it for me. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely listen to it. He has a lot of good concerts online on YouTube. I watched a concert at Hostos with his son that performed. Him and a couple of other famous Puerto Rican musicians, they performed a free concert at Hostos.
Wow.
Yeah, it was lit.
So, did you experience any cultural appreciation from people outside your ethnic background?
I would say maybe I have from a couple of friends that I know in middle school. I had one friend who is a big Spider-Man fan, and he likes Miles Morales. And
I love Miles Morales.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's great. When he came to my apartment a couple years back.
Miles Morales?
I wish. No, my friend. He came to my apartment, and he made a comment saying that like, wow, your apartment reminds me a lot of Miles's from the video game, because in the video game, if people have played it, you can basically browse around Miles's apartment, and there's a lot of Easter eggs to Puerto Rican culture, like the flag, the music.
I remember.
Yeah, so he saw my house and made that connection, and I take it as a cultural appreciation because he looks at a character that he really likes and then equates looks up to and then equates it to like the way that I live and stuff, and it's really interesting and really cool. So I would
That's
say
so sweet.
Yeah, and I would say like Miles in general is a character I really think that like shows cultural appreciation, like his creation, like showing that like anybody who is a Puerto Rican, can have like the same type of love and respect. So I think like that was an example of like cultural appreciation. And also like when I bring people to eat with my mom and I, they usually eat the food that my mom makes, and it's mostly Spanish cuisine. So it's like arroz con habichuela with like some salchicha, or also some mofongo.
I love the coquito.
You like the coquito? Yo.
Yeah.
It's a really good drink. That's a party drink. That's what we don't have no eggnog or nothing. That's a party drink. But when they usually cook, when my mom usually cooks for them, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my gosh, I love your
I
mom's
love
cooking.
it.
Yeah, it's really good, and that's all traditional Puerto Rican dishes. So like when I hear people say, oh, I want to come back just to eat your mom's cooking, I'm like, well, you just probably love the culture too, and I really like that. But I also know they do it because we're friends and stuff. But I also think it's just the culture that like really influences them.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Did you grow up around a community that shares the same background as you? And if so, what are some ways you would stay connected with them?
But the times I mostly share my culture is like when we go to parties, and a lot of my friends are Hispanic.
Mhm.
So whenever it comes to the playlist, best believe there's gonna be a lot of the Hispanic songs that everybody loves. And we love to dance to. Like Bad Bunny is especially a one that we play a lot. I think the music is definitely like a big factor. The food is a definitely big
Yeah.
factor.
I love his music.
Yeah.
Also, Rosalia.
Rosalia, yeah.
She's great. I have like so many of her songs. And I have no idea what she's talking about, but I love it.
That's why it's good to watch the English translation, because then you get to learn. And a lot of the songs, when you especially listen to them, they are very like sad and about like very weird things. Like I remember listening to a song about, it's called La Camisa Negra, and people know that song because it's a popular song that like you dance to at the club or like any Hispanic party. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's about like a guy who like had an ex with a black shirt, and that's all that he reminds him of. And he just really hates that that's all he remembers of her is the black shirt, or like he took from her. Yeah, anyway, it's a very sad song, but when you play it in Spanish and you listen to it, it's like, it's a vibe. But that's like kind of like Hispanic music. There's always like this level of drama. Yeah. Which like, I don't know, like as somebody who's like kind of like only heard it in one side, it's like very strange to hear on the other side being like, oh, there's a lot of intense stuff happening in this song, but then people are just like vibing to it. Like people who grow up with that, I'm just like, man, this just must be the common thing. Like, I don't know, we kind of like normalized it here, but when we actually like take the time to listen, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to say, like, as an outsider, or I don't know if that's the right word, but like when I listen to, as an American, as a Bengali American, I'll listen to Hindi music that I don't understand the lyrics to, Spanish music or Korean music, Chinese music, and with all of these, it's such a vibe, but when you read the lyrics, it's so sad.
Yeah.
And an example I'll bring up, since we're talking about, Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
You know the song Que?
Okay.
Yeah, by Rao. I think his name is Rao Alejandro.
You might have to play that for me again.
It's such a beautiful song, but it's about like a love triangle. I don't want to get like copyrighted, so.
Yeah. You could just play a little bit. Oh,
yeah,
Romeo Santos? Okay.
Hold on.
Romeo Santos? Yes. That's immediately a 10 out of 10.
It's such a good song, but it's so sad. What are wonderful ways that your parents cared for you that you feel happened because of their cultural background, like because they came from Puerto Rico?
I think a lot of tough love, which I know it's hard.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, it's a lot of tough love, because here's the thing. When you grow up in the place that you grow up, like I got it easy here being in America, because a lot of the things that they would allow in the Caribbean, I know because they told me, a lot of the discipline over there, they just do definitely discipline you with people around. I got it a little bit when I was younger, but then when I turned a certain age, it just didn't happen as much. I mean, I would still be like, they would still tell me, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But I definitely got the taste of what it was like for them at a younger age. I definitely learned to appreciate when they tell me, like, we do it because we love you. Like, before I didn't get it, like, when they would scold me for something, or when they would tell me, oh, we just don't want you to make, rash decisions. I never understood it, but as an adult now, and hoping to want to be a dad someday, I definitely get it now. I definitely get why they were very strict, and they still are. But I think it comes from a place of love. It definitely comes from a place of love. I always see it, but when you're at the age you are, you never really understand. But I understand. I get it. I
That's an
definitely
interesting
get it.
perspective.
Yeah, I definitely get it now. I didn't get it back then, but I definitely get it now. Especially having those conversations. I feel like our parents are human too, and our parents definitely are learning from a place that they never like they're used to doing things a certain way. So when you tell them, oh, maybe this doesn't work, maybe try doing it differently, of course there's gonna be some hesitation, being like, what?
Yeah.
But this is all I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to like open up to ways that like their their parenting skills have helped, and other ways they hasn't. Sometimes you win some, and sometimes you lose some. But when you have the conversations, they definitely help. Especially like the more earlier you do it. Like in my 20s, it's good to have that conversation while my parents are both still around, and that I can still ask for their help and ask for their advice.
I feel like immigrant families, it's very common to have a tough love approach.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they handle discipline is very questionable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of debate about whether it's okay,
Right.
especially when it's taken to violent means.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's what you were referring to, but yeah, I have noticed that it's really hard to understand why our parents are the way they are
Mm-hmm.
as immigrants. But something I like to remind myself is like it was their first time being parents,
Mm-hmm.
just like it's our first time being children. Talking about 2 decades ago because we're in our 20s.
Yeah.
And they immigrated here, meaning they came from a country where generation after generation after generation of the parents and their parents and their parents all had like the kind of same way of disciplining and same way of loving and tough loving and stuff.
Right.
And now they come to the US where things don't work that way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working on you, and then you tell them that and they don't really know how to act. That's not an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
They should change how they act to make sure we're safe,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost. But yeah, I think that is a really brilliant, interesting answer that you feel like your parents' tough love shaped you into being the person you need to be.
Yeah, and it's also because I look at it now with seeing how other people were raised. And it's not to say that parents are doing better or worse, but it makes me appreciate that like my parents did care enough that like if I did something that would not be okay, they would tell me and they would show me how to do better. And I've always
Yeah.
got the compliments from people, especially when I've been dating, that people are like, wow, your parents really raised you right. And I'd be surprised by that. But I also am like grateful that like I can tell my mom that, and she's like, okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell that your parents love you so much, and your brother too, and your sister. Like, I can really feel it in the home. Like, this home is so decorated with like Puerto Rican roots and all the nerdy Lego and anime and all that stuff. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I love all the personality in your home, which is where we are. We are in your home now.
Mhm.
And the address is, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be prepared to be doxxed. I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah. Hey guys, so the video got cut off the other day, so we're just gonna redo the last 2 questions right now. So the next question I'm gonna ask Danny is, if you could tell your younger self something about growing up bicultural, what would it be?
Thank you for the question. So what would I say to my younger self is that it's okay to grow up being of 2 different cultures, as long as you know what matters to you. Like, if you know that one culture promotes diversity, it promotes, good family dynamics, if it promotes, like unity and like loving yourself, then I think choose the one that really matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to pick and choose something that you feel like shouldn't fit you.
Mm-hmm.
Always be yourself.
Mm-hmm. So which of your 2 identities, being American and being Puerto Rican, are you referring to that you say, like, you've picked the one that feels more like you?
Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like I wasn't born there, I feel like it's always stuck with me. Like not just because I live with parents like that, but it's just like the community, the legacy lives with me, and it's shared through because I embrace it. You know, when you're born into a culture, you can choose either not to accept it or deny it, and I choose in my culture to embrace it because it's only brought me positive experiences.
All positive vibes.
All positive vibes, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so the very last question I have for you is, what do you love about yourself?
What do I love about myself?
Yeah.
I love that I can sometimes light up a room. Sometimes I don't often know that, but like I like that people would tell me, "Oh, sometimes you like light up the room when you come," and I don't really see it. I usually just try to do my best to, you know, show up, and then whatever happens. Not to say that I don't plan out ahead of time, but like I just kind of show up as myself, and whoever's cool with me, cool. Like that's how I like it sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great quality. You definitely light up the room. If there's a power outage and there's no electricity, we still have Danny.
Yes. So like if you got no music, you definitely can still have a party.
He's the stereo.
I'm the stereo. You give me the jukebox, you give me a selection, I could probably like give you good lyrics, good vocals, and if y'all want to dance to that, it's fine. If not, you know, you might have to switch the station. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, so that is everything for our episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe. And as a reminder, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
And thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you have a wonderful day. Please take care of yourself.
Yes, please take care, enjoy, and have a good one. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.